Hey everybody, it's good to see you back again. So the plan lately has been to try and stay in the shop and get as much done on the D2 as possible because we're so close to being finished. But sometimes Mother Nature has other ideas. 2 days ago now, we had a storm go through. Had a little bit of damage, nothing major at all. No buildings were affected, anything like that. Just made a mess more than anything. Kind of an inconvenience. So we got a lot of cleanup to do today. I'll show you some of the things that came down. Had this maple top come out of, I think, this clump. You can see a couple hangers on still up there. And then over here by the narrow RD6, I'm pretty sure that broken off stub right off the end of my finger is where this one came from. And it blew over here. You know, it's fairly good size. It's heavy enough to cause some damage. Luckily, I was looking on the cover, you can see where it just scraped and just hit the edge of that fender on the way down. I think it buckled it a little bit, but that's okay. This fender had dents in it already, so just grazed the edge of it before it hit the ground. So no harm, no foul there. Down here at the pond, this maple, well, it's getting a little rotten in the top anyhow, so it had a branch break off and come down. We've got a lot of dead stuff like this to pick up. Dead snag hanging right there. This little popple snapped off. We've got 3 or 4 of these about this size that got it. You can see the rest of it that's still in the ground until right there. So that one will come out. The top decided to land in the pond. But the big mess is down here. You can still see the tracks on the ground when we were dragging those stumps around with the RD6 just the other day. This is where we took those leaning basswoods and maples and everything out over there. Matter of fact, you can see the basswood log pile there, and this is where we were skidding everything with the RD6 right down this road. We had this big oak come down, so yeah, Senior had a couple old Fordson tractor tires, tractor wheels leaning up on it, and yeah, you can see it was getting pretty bad in the base, rotten in the middle, bunch of rotten wood over there, and the wind just took it right down. On its way down, it snapped the top out of that maple, laid that right down with it, so that maple's going to come out too. So I need to clean up this whole mess today. Yeah, the wind split this one just clean off. So being that this was a double oak, and this one's kind of a big old boy, there's a few sticks in him, he's pretty tall, but we're gonna have to pull this one down too, because you get a double tree and one half goes, the other half is quite unstable, and besides, you look at the bottom, this one's not any better than the one that just broke off. Lots of rot in there. So being that this one's actually leaning that way, when we pull it down, we're probably gonna have to take it with the long cable and the D6 back right where its twin fell. That's not gonna happen today, but yeah, we need to get all this cleaned up first. This is a really good example of why we take preemptive action on trees we know that are rotten and get them down on our terms before they come down on their terms. Like this one came down, it broke the top half of this maple right off, so this maple's coming out now. And like in the case with these basswoods that we just pulled from right over there, they were hollow like that. They're all rotten in the middle. I mean, look at, you can just pull material out of it. You know, you see how much of that was just dead wood. When they get weak like that, it's a good idea to get them down before they land on something that you don't want to have them on. So, you know, I always get 1 or 2 people in the comment section every time when we're doing any kind of a tree cutting video that are telling me that I'm ruining the environment and things like that. And I usually just delete those and just let them be on their way, because they're of their opinion and I am of mine. But yeah, when we have trees that are past mature, past prime, or are just plain dangerous, yeah, like I said, it's best to at least get them on the ground, utilize them the best we can. Otherwise, storms kick up, things like this happen. So it's just one of those things. We're not taking down trees that are in their prime, but you know, if something can be used, which trees are a renewable resource, we're going to use them rather than just letting them go to rot and turning into even more of a fire hazard. Granted, wildfires are natural. It's how Mother Nature cleans house, but human factor. Human beings leave a footprint no matter what we do, no matter how eco-friendly we try to be, we're still having an impact just because we're here. So keeping our woods clean by taking out those you know, hazards, those dead trees, those broken trees, reduces fire hazard. And should wildfires come through here, they're easier to fight, not having all of that dry tinder laying around. And the real pollution factor is when a structure lights on fire. So much pollution comes from that, so much more than just natural wildfires, because you have plastics, you have rubbers, you have glue that's in carpets and upholstery, all that stuff. I mean, if you've ever seen a structure fire, it's really black, nasty smoke. So we're just mitigating the threat, and by taking these dangerous trees down before they come down on their own, we're actually lessening our impact on the ecosystem. So that being said, we're going to cut some more trees today. Got a lot of mess to clean up. I'm going to just devote all day to it. I don't know how far I'm going to get. Probably I'm not going to get it all done. We're going to give it our best shot. Let's get busy. Okay, so we got the first log off of it. I managed to get it off of those wheels without hurting the chainsaw. And just as I suspected, we've got a lot of rot down here toward the bottom in the middle. But by the time we get to the other end, it's looking clean and solid. So this one's going to be a firewood log. We'll block that up and save what we can. But we're probably going to section at least an 8.5, maybe two 8.5 foot chunks off of the rest of the trunk and save those for saw logs, because there's probably some really nice oak boards in those. And then once we get up there, that's all going to be blocked for firewood. All right, everybody, it's about 12 hours later. We're right back where we started, but we got it all done. There's a little bit of raking left to do. I got everything cleaned up by the narrow RD6, everything off the road, everything down by the pond, completely gone. All of the blown down oak is cleaned up. Senior's got his Fordson wheels back. And I got that entire broken off maple cleaned up, as well as some other branches that landed when that tree came down. So, all in all, not a bad day's work. Got a couple good saw logs out of it. Threw a lot of good logs in the firewood pile. We have quite a start for processing this fall. I think you all can tell the evening mosquitoes are coming out, so it's a good excuse to go in and edit video for the rest of the night. Yeah, summer is just kicking off, but man, it's been doing good at keeping me busy. Steady. So tomorrow we'll be back in the shop. I got to keep moving so those bugs don't carry me off. I'll be working on the D2, so stay tuned for more of that. Yeah, we got by pretty easy in this last storm, so like I said, just some minor inconvenience. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna get out of this. See you back again.